appearances in the movie, but it turned out it was all of her scenes in the movie.
Oh,
Now, what's there is great, but still, I was kind of hoping for a bit more, like in the 4 episode Road to the Top OVA that's free over on YouTube. Speaking of free things,
yeah.
but yeah, overall, like I think it could be a little opaque to somebody who didn't know the series. Definitely, like there's some anime that you can show to somebody who doesn't actually like anime.
Hmm.
This I would not think would be one of them. I think you'd if you're trying to get somebody to watch this, they'd have to already like anime to an extent and just be willing to roll with a weird premise.
Yeah.
But it's gotten some praise. I know that the movie got like it was really enjoyed by the guy who did Your Name. I can't remember the name of that director, but and I could definitely see why an animation director would appreciate this because just on a production level, it's insane. Like
Yeah.
there are some scenes like a lot of the lesser scenes they're more interested in being expressive than being on model, so you get some weird like you know how in 1930s American cartoons characters it's like they didn't have skeletons. You get some of that sometimes here,
Oh, yeah.
just for some of the expressive-ness.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's enough weeping out over this. Like I said, it's a fine addition to the franchise. I don't think it's my favorite piece of media from the franchise, but it was definitely a worthwhile experience.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, it's not being shown all over the states. It's like it was in 600 theaters last weekend, but they did extend the initial release of it. If you go to Fandango, you can find movie times up through the 11th. So
Yeah.
you have your chance still.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as part of the no transition night, here's something I've been meaning to cross off my bucket list.
The bucket list.
The bucket list.
Yeah. 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 Same for me. This is a movie that I've been meaning to watch for many, many years. In fact, I tried to watch it when in the old days of Netflix, when they were still doing mail-in DVDs. It sat on my coffee table for about a month, and I just said, forget it. Send it back. But finally just decided, okay, well, let's take the plunge and watch this movie.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. Yeah. So for those of you who might not know the plot of the movie, basically, it's a very basic plot. I mean, you've got the movie starts off where we meet Morgan Freeman's character Carter. He's a car mechanic with a very vast encyclopedia of knowledge,
or at least of trivia.
or at least trivia. Yeah, and although I should mention real quick, it does start off with his narrating some of the story.
Yep, take a shot if you're playing Morgan Freeman movie trope bingo.
Yes. Yeah, and so he's, we meet him. He's a car mechanic, and then he gets a phone call at work from his wife, and it's obviously very bad news. I'm assuming it's lung cancer because he's smoking a cigarette and then he stops smoking it. And then we meet Jack Nicholson's character, Edward, who is a very eccentric billionaire who owns a private medical company and has a bunch of hospitals. And he's in this county meeting pitching his idea for the hospital. And in the midst of it, he coughs blood. And so then we flash forward to the two of them. Edward and Carter are sharing a hospital room. Of course, Edward's not happy about it because he's like, well, why do I have to share a hospital? Even though it's his hospital.
Previous scene.
Yeah. Yeah. In the previous scene, he makes it very clear in this hospital is 2 beds per room. It is a hospital, not a health spa.
Right. That's like no exceptions. Well, it turns out that even he can't make an exception for it.
Right. Yeah. And so we see the two of them going through their treatments, and then they slowly start building up a friendship, and but then they both get the impending the news that nobody wants to hear, which is that they only have like 6 months, maybe a year to live.
Right. And this is after a very long battle with like where the two of them are dealing with chemotherapy and other
Surgery.
treatments that
Yeah.
just, yeah. Um, so Jack Nicholson proposes, rather than just sitting around and waiting to die with while a bunch of your family make you sad, let's
Yeah.
go out and see the world.
Right. Yeah. Because he sees Morgan Freeman, making a bucket list. Because it was something that he picked up when he was in college from a philosopher. They basically things that you want to do before you kick the bucket. And so so Nicholson says, well, let's go out and see the world. And so that's they write out all this different stuff that they want to do, and the first thing they do is they go skydiving, which Morgan Freeman's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Um, Now, my thought as I was watching this thing was that you know how you can not see a movie and you could probably guess the beats and like what the movie would be about
Yeah.
in the long run. That's basically how I felt about this movie the whole way through. It's like it's very predictable, but it's definitely elevated by the quality of the leads.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you got like Morgan Freeman, who's his wife is of course very worried about him, because he's like she's like you're going off on all these adventures. You're going to France, and then they go to Egypt and India and all these places, and you've only got a few months to live, and why aren't you spending it with your family, that kind of thing. And then you find out about Nicholson, who he's been married 4 times, and then you find out he has a daughter that he's estranged from, and you learn more about the circumstances of that. And
Like stuff you could definitely like if you fed this premise to the chat GPT, it might come up with these beats.
right, yeah. um, and of course, there's another character in there, Nicholson's assistant, played by Sean Hayes, who most people remember from Will and Grace. He played, his name is Nicholson calls him Thomas, even though his name is actually Matthew, but he calls him Thomas because Matthew is too biblical.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, one of the early disciples of Christ, his name was Thomas.
Yeah, in my opinion, Jack Nicholson's character is not the smartest. He's not the sharpest knife in the crayon drawer.
No.
In a lot of ways.
No, yeah. But yeah, the movie does follow some very predictable plot beats, as they're going off on their on this last little adventure of their lives. The one part of the movie I didn't like, and I don't know like how it fit, how it works in there, was so there's a scene where so one of the things they try to do is they go to the Himalayas.
Mm-hmm.
And were they weren't going to Everest, were they? Or were they trying to go there?
I forget if it was Everest or just another high mountain up there.
Yeah, but then they couldn't go up there because of the weather, and so then they end up going to Hong Kong. And there's a scene where Morgan Freeman's sitting in the bar, and he's talking about all the mountains and the Himalayas with the bartender, and then this young British woman sits down next to him, and they start chatting and everything, and she invites him up to her hotel room, and of course Morgan Freeman, declines because he's happily married. And
Happily married and a strong Christian, as far as we can tell.
oh yeah, 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 and so then he goes to back to the room with Nicholson. He's like, nah, I want to go home, and he the implication is that like Nicholson was the one who set it up. And it's like,
Right. Like she was like a call girl or something.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, okay, like why?
It's like they needed a reason to cut the vacation short for runtime.
Yeah, yeah, it was very odd. Yeah. But yeah, and of course, there's a lot of dramatic moments, of course, at the end of the trip, because Morgan Freeman tries to get Nicholson to reconcile with his daughter, and then and and of course the Freeman's health starts to take a turn, and
Right. We can all kind of see where this is going.
mhm.
Uh, there is I'm just gonna say, like, we're getting some mild spoilers.
Yeah,
Uh, the fact that Freeman is the one narrating the movie is kind of odd, because he was the
yeah,
first to die.
yeah, yeah. It seemed a little weird. Yeah,
A little metaphysical, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I can see why this was well received at the time, and it's also the type of movie where I think it is like a classic four quadrant, where there really wouldn't be anybody who couldn't get something out of this movie.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Maybe very small kids wouldn't like it or couldn't grasp it, but it is like a reasonable enough meditation on mortality.
Oh, it is. Yeah, and I would say people over the age, like probably people our age and older, would definitely have a more of an appreciation for it than say like people in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, I hadn't realized this was a Rob Reiner film.
Yeah, I didn't either until I saw the credits.
Yep. Is it wrong that I usually think of him as Ron Howard as being kind of interchangeable as far as directors go? Like, where a lot of the stuff they make doesn't necessarily have a super strong flavor.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
And of course, you got things like The Princess Bride, but that's like
yeah.
an outlier.
Well, yeah. Well, he also had like he also did like When Harry Met Sally, and
And that one's also my bucket list.
yeah.
But Tish.
Um, Yeah, well, no, he did quite a lot of
Maybe,
movie. He did like A Few Good Men.
okay, maybe I'll just back off. That exposes my own ignorance of his oeuvre.
Uh, Spinal Tap.
So wait, that
Spi-
was okay.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
Spinal Tap was his. Yeah.
I thought that Spinal Tap was okay. Never mind.
Oh, did you think it was Christopher Guest?
I don't know who I thought it was. I just didn't realize it was Meathead.
No, no, yeah. Well, yeah, he plays he plays the documentarian who's like following him around and interviewing him. And he's
Huh.
he's the one who says to Christopher Guest, like, well, why don't you just make 10 the highest number and make it louder? And this goes to 11.
Well, okay then. You know what? I stand corrected.
Hmm.
Um,
You're right.
so what was? It was before I made a mild fool of myself.
Uh,
Um,
it's okay.
like I said, like, this movie feels a little generic. Like, anybody could have made it.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that it was well received was because the quality of the actors in it.
Yeah.
Because you put Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson together, and there is an immediate chemistry and an immediate contrast in their personalities and outlooks
Yeah.
that is interesting to watch play out.
Yeah, and I have a hard time thinking of other actors that could have done this movie and done it just as well. Um,
Yeah, like, to be the right age to actually pull it off.
yeah, yeah, maybe Paul Newman or Robert Redford if they had done it, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
10 to 15 years before this actually came out.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I could see them contrasting well enough.
Yeah. Um, but no, yeah, I would say, yeah, they're very strong acting performances. It's a, it's a, it's a sentimental movie. Um,
Hmm.
and I will say, if there's one thing Rob Reiner is good at, it's sentiment. Um, uh, but yeah, the story is, yeah, it is not like, it's not the most wholly original. And yeah, it's somewhat predictable, but it's good for what it is.
It's a fine little movie. It isn't life changing or anything, but you aren't going to feel like your time was wasted.
Right. Yeah. And it's only like a little over an hour and a half, so it's not.
Yep. I'll put this in the category of they don't make them like they used to. And if there were 10 movies of this quality in this runtime with two heavy hitting actors that came out every year on top of what they released right now, we'd be better off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, this movie is currently on Netflix. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Agreed.
Uh,